4 days gone, 3 of them pushing 80 degrees, and every pot on that back porch was still green when the owner walked back in. Nobody watered them, nobody stopped by. The whole setup had been decided the night before the flight left. What you're looking at in this one is the exact setup, pot by pot, that got a whole container garden through those 4 days without a single extra drop of water. No irrigation timer, no neighbor holding a spare key, under 15 minutes of work the night before. I lost a full run of container tomatoes to one work trip years back. Came home to shriveled vines and figured the answer was just watering heavier next time. The real fix had nothing to do with more water. It came down to where the pots sat and what was underneath them. 4 days is the easy part. Where this setup actually gets tested is the trip that runs past a week, and there's one type of container in here that ignores this whole method completely. The first time I tried to leave containers alone for a few days, I did what most people do. I watered heavy the morning I left and hoped for the best. Came home to a few pots that made it and a few that didn't, and no real explanation for which was which. Next trip I tried the opposite. Barely watered them at all, figuring less moisture meant less shock. Lost even more that time. What I didn't understand yet is that a pot behaves nothing like a garden bed. In the ground, roots can chase water sideways and down, pull from soil the sun hasn't baked yet. In a container, the plant only has what's in that pot, and a small pot in August sun can go from soaked to bone dry in under a day. Watering heavy once and walking away just delays the problem by a few hours. The fix turned out to be simple. Give the water somewhere to keep coming from after you're already gone. Flower pots that just need to look nice when you get home don't need any of this. What I'm laying out here is for anyone with real food coming out of containers, tomatoes, citrus, peppers, herbs, whatever's growing in pots on a patio, who's about to leave for 4 days, 5 days, maybe a week, and doesn't want to come home to a dead harvest. If you've already got a drip line running to your containers, or you're using an olive buried in the soil, keep doing that. Both work well, and neither one conflicts with anything here. This is for the trip you decided on Tuesday for a flight on Friday, when installing anything isn't realistic, and paying someone to check in isn't either. Here's what I've come to believe after losing plants the wrong way and saving them the right way. The plants that survive while you're gone were never watered while you were gone. They were watered once correctly before you left, and set up to hold on to that water instead of losing it. Everything after that is physics doing the work for you. There are 4 moves in this setup, and every one of them happens before you ever leave the driveway. The double soak, done twice, at the right times. The shade cluster, which uses your bigger plants or a cheap piece of shade cloth to protect your smaller ones. The Saucer Reservoir, which turns a plain plant saucer into a 4-day water tank. And the weather check, the one step almost everyone skips, which decides whether the other 3 help you or work against you. The morning before you leave isn't when this starts. It starts the evening before, with a full, slow soaking of every container, enough that water is actually running out the drainage holes, not just wetting the surface. Then it happens again the next morning, right before you walk out the door. The reason for 2 soaks instead of 1 is that soil, especially in a big container, doesn't absorb evenly in a single pass. The first soak wets it through. The second one tops off what the first one already settled into, so the pot is holding its true capacity, not just what looked wet on top. For anything in a large container, 20 gallons or more and mulched well, that's often enough on its own to get through several mild days without another drop. Small pots are the ones that don't survive on soaking alone. A container under a couple gallons can go from wet to dry in a single hot afternoon, vacation or not. Group your most sensitive small pots together, tucked into whatever shade your yard already has, a covered corner, the north side of the house, under a larger plant's canopy. This is where citrus earns its spot in the lineup. Potted citrus can handle a couple of days on the drier side without complaint, so it becomes a living shade shield for anything more delicate sitting behind it. If your setup is a porch or patio in full sun with nothing tall enough to cast that shade, the same logic works with a length of cheap shade cloth clipped over a few stakes. You're not building a greenhouse. You're breaking direct sun on the pots that dry out fastest one way or another. I've heard the same complaint more than once about fabric grow bags. They dry out too fast for a setup like this to matter. That tracks with what I've seen. Grow bags breathe on all sides, which is great for root health in season and bad for retaining water over 4 unattended days. If most of what you're growing is in grow bags, this system needs a workaround, and I'll get to that at the end. The Saucer Reservoir is the piece that does the actual work while you're on the plane. Set your pot on a deep saucer, then flood that saucer with water until it's holding a real reserve, not just a shallow puddle. As the soil dries from the top, the plant pulls up through the drainage holes from the reservoir underneath. The container now has a second water source to draw from after the soil itself runs dry. If you've got a lot of containers, a kiddie pool works as one giant reservoir for several pots at once, instead of filling saucers one by one. Same principle, just scaled up for a whole patio's worth of plants at the same time. Check the forecast for where you live before you fill a single reservoir. This is the step that decides whether everything above helps you or works against you. If it's dry and hot the whole time you're gone, fill those reservoirs as deep as your saucers allow. If rain is coming, especially more than a day or two of it, you want the opposite. A reservoir built for drought, sitting under days of rain on top, turns into a container with no drainage at all, and a plant can survive short-term flooding but not a week of sitting in standing water. Roots need oxygen as much as they need moisture, and waterlogged soil pushes that oxygen out completely. There's a second thing the forecast tells you, separate from rain: how hot it's going to get. A reservoir deep enough for a mild 4 days in November isn't automatically deep enough for 4 days in the middle of a July heat wave. Heat and duration are two different limits on this system. A longer trip stretches it, a hotter trip drains it faster. Both matter, and they don't cancel each other out. Rain during your trip isn't automatically good news. Most people assume a little rain while they're away is a bonus, free watering, nothing to worry about. But if you've already built deep reservoirs for a drought scenario, and it rains on top of that setup for 2 or 3 days straight, you've accidentally built a container full of standing water with nowhere for it to go. That's exactly what happened on the trip that proved this system out. Rain came in overnight, on top of reservoirs that were already full, and one of the larger saucers held so much water afterward, it had to be dumped out entirely once things dried up. A plant sitting in that much standing water for too many more days risks drowning just as easily as it risks drying out. The setup only works if you build it for the weather you're walking into, not the weather you assume you'll get. That's the real system here. Reading the forecast and adjusting the depth of what you fill and how much shade you give, based on what's actually coming. If you're testing this for the first time, start with a trip under a week and containers 20 gallons or bigger for anything you really don't want to lose. Tomatoes, citrus, anything producing food. Those hold enough soil volume to forgive a mistake. Cluster your small pots into shade the same evening you do your second soak and check the forecast, both rain and temperature, before you fill a single saucer. If a chunk of what you grow is in fabric grow bags, don't rely on the reservoir alone. Sit the bag directly inside a wider, deeper tray so more of the bottom surface stays in contact with water, or switch that specific plant to a hard-sided container before a trip longer than a couple days. Be honest with yourself about which limit you're closer to. A mild week away is one thing. A full week of 90-degree heat is another, even if the calendar says the same 7 days. The hotter it's going to be, the deeper your reservoirs need to go, or the shorter the gap you should risk leaving them unchecked. Past that, closer to 2 weeks regardless of temperature, ask a neighbor to top off water once rather than stretching the system past what it was built for. If this is the first video of mine you've watched, I put a new one out most weeks, mostly things I've tested in my own backyard. Not things I read somewhere and repeated. If you want the specifics before your next trip, I'd test this on a short trip before you lean on it for a long one. A 3 or 4 day weekend tells you everything about how your specific containers and your specific yard are going to handle it.